Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inside Davidson Wrestling. Joined this week by head coach Nate Carr Jr. and Josh Villarango. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you, Ken?
Doing all right. Nate, let's start with you. Big week, big win. On Friday night against VMI. It's an exciting match, but before we get into the match, I know we talk about this a little bit off camera each week with the coin toss and the strategy. It sounds like you want to know another coin toss, so take us into that strategy.
Well, we kind of watch the pre-workout and see how the guy's energy is. We had a couple guys that are a little sick, a little down, and wanted to give them a little bit more time to hydrate up. And we were kind of, all right, where can we start? Usually you start at 25 and use 25 all the way up to heavyweight. We've been doing a lot of coin flips or drawing, and essentially pretty normal, tails never fails. So it's kind of what I do. I when you're away, head coach on the other home team flips the quarter, and I give a toss. And then I've won a few here, and they've chosen heads. That's literally, I've just, tails never fails. And I talked to the coaches about what we thought would be best. So we talk about that before I go and win the coin toss. It's been 6 or 7 straight, which is kind of funny. But sometimes we don't do a coin toss. Like against App State, we just started at 25. There was a forfeit at 25. So let's just get that out of the way, and we go 33. So we don't do it every single time, but we talked about Mark Koch not cutting a lot of weight. He's a little undersized, 74-pounder, so he's going to bring some energy. And we thought, man, what two best guys could you end with other than Tanner Peak and Bryce Allen, and they're on a really good run right now. So just made sense for us. They actually didn't weigh in an 84-pounder, so Wyatt actually wrestled a backup 65-pounder. So just even that kind of played into like, all right, let's I think we can get some things rolling here. So obviously Mark came a little short, but then Wyatt got us rolling with a fall. So it looked like it was the right decision, and of course it ended very well.
Yeah, let's go into that a little bit because, like you said, Mark, tough 2-0 decision, grinded that one out. But then, you got that pin from Wyatt, overtime win by Cameo. Jake Ren's out a 11-9 win. So just talk about that stretch and getting you guys started.
Yeah, our bigger guys have been wrestling well. They got a great coach. Marcus Coleman has done a great job just keeping them in shape, keeping them in tune, just to like the little skills and a little bit of like grittiness. Like Cameo had to dig deep. He was out a couple weeks ago and is just trying to find his footing again from being out for 4 or 5 days, and really wrestled well against App State. Had an opportunity to pin the guy a couple times and showed some flashes of greatness in Thursday, and then coming in Friday just gritting out a tough match to an opponent that he had wrestled before already, so beating the guy already before, so it's always tough to beat that guy twice. And man, he was gritty. He got an underhook and he got a big overtime takedown. Jake had a fall in the first period, and I don't care what anyone says. And he had to get gritty and find a way to win that match 11-9. But Jake wrestled good all weekend. He's looked great this last 4 matches. Has shown he's peaking at the right time, so we're excited for him.
Yeah, it seemed like even in the App State match, kind of a questionable, back points there. Didn't give it to him. Yeah. Tough 8-7, but yeah, he's peaking at the right time. Now let's move on. VMI kind of comes back, takes 125, 133. Then this guy to your right comes up. What do you, and at that point, I believe it was 13-12 or something like it was really close. So, what are you telling him before he, goes out on the match?
Just wrestle you can compete with anybody. Just wrestle your match, right? You don't have to take the action right to him right away. Josh likes to get, he's really fast, and he has a lot of pop, and he can get the legs really quickly. And we have to just be timeful of when we take our shots and let the wrestling just kind of come to us a little bit sometimes, and just go out there and have some fun. What do you got? You got nothing to lose, right? And he was going on a little spell where he had taken 3 or 4 losses in a row, and was just kind of like, hey man, you got nothing to lose. You can wrestle with anybody. And I say the same thing. I pretty much say the same thing every time. So he's heard it a lot over the last year, and he takes his breaths. I get behind him, crack his back, and he gets ready to go. So slaps my hand usually before he goes out there. So we kind of have a routine already, and nothing was different than what I told him literally the day before. So it was really cool to see him go out there and perform.
Yeah, and then, after that, gets the big win, and we'll talk to you about that here in a second. VMI comes and gets a really tough pin over Tyler.
Yep.
You almost never really see that, but after that, you got 2 of your better guys coming up. So take us through that. As far as a coach, you win the coin toss, you choose those guys to go up. Like you probably weren't surprised very much, were you?
Well, so at 57, they wrestled last year's 1-point match, and that kid is really tough. That kid has wrestled a lot of the top 57 pounders in the conference. Very, very tough. So Tanner has lost and won a bunch of close matches. So we really weren't settled like, oh, we got this in the bag. This kid, that is a senior, it was senior day. I feel like the mom was really yelling and was like on the ref and Tanner. It was a very interesting match, but man, the dude has continued to go on this winning streak of just like staying gritty and winning big matches, and he looked great. I mean, he just separated, so got the bonus. I mean, he looked phenomenal. So I was thinking, you know what, this is going to be a tough match. I believe Tanner can win this match, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a one takedown match. And he flipped the script and put the hammer down on him, and it was very inspirational for Bryce to see, oh man, we go tied it up 19-19 now, and we got our big dog captain, a guy that wrestles hard. When I shook his hand, he just looked calm. He looked like a sniper. He looked like he was ready to go. So went out there and took care of business, and it was kind of just good to see our team respond after losing to App State, and then getting in a van, tight van, doing homework, cutting weight, getting to a cold gym, making your body get hot, and then finding that competitive edge when you don't maybe feel like you have it. And they found it. And that showed true character from our program, which was awesome to see.
Yeah. Now, Josh, let's talk to you a little bit. He talked about your guys' routine. So, after that, what's inside your mind is, you're about to go out there for that match.
So I usually get pretty nervous before my matches, which is something that I've been working on. And that match, I felt more free than I usually do. And I just went out there with the mindset that my technical skills are there and my physical skills are there. And it's just in my head, and I have to go out there and win.
Yeah, and then, during the match, there's some couple stoppages, blood, things like that. So, how were you able to stay locked in a close match like that?
So even in the beginning of the match, I was wrestling a little timid and scared. And then there was one blood time where we met, and he basically just said, you're down by 3 points. You need to get an escape and get a takedown. And I said, I'm going to go out there and get the takedown. And then that's what happened.
Yeah, and then, you moved in that third period, still close match. Take us through those last 2 minutes and, how you were able to get that late takedown.
Yeah, it was mainly just wrestling free, and I wasn't thinking at all, and I was just relying on my previous experience wrestling to get me through it.
Awesome. Well, now let's, look ahead a little bit. Obviously, you guys got Queens and Presby coming in on Friday night, hosting the Wildcat Open on Sunday. How key will it be to, use the momentum from Friday, carry that into Sunday? I know it's senior day. You're going to be recognizing some seniors. So how big will that momentum be, coming into Friday and, using that?
I think the morale's good right now. We got, I think we know it's the end of the season where we got the less than a month left, and we're honoring these 6 seniors and what they've done here. They've had an interesting run with COVID being their first year in college, which wasn't easy to navigate going from high school to COVID and really into college, right? So they've had a different coach, they've had new coaches, they've had a different logo, they've had different branding, they've had a new wrestling room, they've done a lot of ups and downs and changes, and they have navigated it with awesome grace, right? And now they're going to be getting honored on Senior Day Friday, which is great. I think the momentum only helped with that win, right? It's going to be like, man, this is a celebration. It's exciting. I think we're going to see a team that's going to have some energy, and we're going to wrestle hard. We're going to wrestle with confidence, and we're going to honor these seniors. I believe we can take care of business on Friday. And then we have, what's really exciting is sometimes not everyone gets to wrestle. So this week, if you're healthy, either you're wrestling on Friday or you're wrestling on Sunday. And you don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to get hotels. You're in your home. You're in bed, and you get to compete. And that's rare for us to do that because we don't normally run opens. We did run 2 events. We did Davidson duels, and now we're doing a Wildcat Open. And it just shows kind of that wrestling is a big part of the school, right? We have 12 teams coming to Davidson duels. Now we have a variety of teams come to our Open. So we're showing off our beautiful wrestling and our facilities, and just that Davidson College cares about wrestling. It's really cool. So we're excited about the weekend. It's a big weekend for our seniors, big weekend for the whole team in general.
Yeah. And then Josh, this point of the season, we talked a little bit before the interview, it's a grind.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you feeling at this point of the year? And, what are you looking forward to most in these next 3 weeks?
So I'm feeling pretty good. Everybody is tired. Their body's feeling it at this point in the season. But I think we do a good job with peaking towards the end of the season and getting our bodies to feel well. So I'm looking forward to keeping practicing and really showing what I'm made of for the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. Now, before we let you go, tell us one thing non-wrestling related that people might not know about you, whether it be a hobby or a talent or something like that.
So I actually run a little bit of a clothing brand. And I got a grant through the school. And I got a sewing machine, and I make clothes. So
that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys sitting down, taking the time on another busy week, talking Davidson wrestling.
Thank you. Go Cats.
Thank you.